Hello nation, and welcome back to the homestead. So over the years, a lot of people have asked us, hey Big Bear, should we get a cow? Should we not get a cow? So Rob and I figured that we would share with you guys today the stuff that we've learned a little bit about cows, what kind of need to be able to take care of cows, to be able to answer that question, to cow or not to cow.
Don't you do it.
Now, the first thing you need to understand when it comes to cows, they come with more of a commitment level than most of your other livestock. And the commitment level is different between dairy and beef cows. Now, as homesteaders, we try to, when we're picking our livestock, we try to find the ones that are dual purpose. Your chickens that are good layers, but they're also good for meat. Your pigs, because which ones will do the most work and still give you that crispy bacon. Unfortunately, through the years, that mindset has kind of been bred out of cows. Now you still have some that are good multi or dual purpose breeds, your Dexter, your Highlands. The issue that you have with them now is, one, they're hard to find, and on the flip coin, they're super expensive like your Highland cattle. I bring that up because you're gonna have to decide beef or dairy, unless you're blessed to have enough land where you can do both. Now, asterisk star over here. Yes, you can get milk from a beef breed, but your butterfat content won't be as high, and you won't get the same volume that you would from a good dairy cow like Louise. On the flip side of that coin, Bucky, who was Thelma's calf, he's not going to produce the same amount of meat as a beef cow will. So yes, we can still eat Bucky, but we won't get as much as we would if it was strictly a meat breed or a beef breed cow. Now the other point I want to make was when I said that the Highlands were expensive, before everybody that owns Highlands hit me up in the comments. The Highlands are more expensive than like your Black Baldies or your Herefords or your Anguses, Jerseys, those like that. That's what I meant by that.
Are you on top of the hay? On top of the hay. Huh? What are you doing?
Now, once you decide whether you're going to do beef or dairy, then the next thing you need to consider is the land requirements for the cows. Now, if you're going to do intense grazing, obviously your land requirements is going to be a lesser amount than it would be if you were going to do traditional grazing. But remember, if you're going to do intense grazing, you need to have enough land so that way you can give those paddocks adequate time to rest. However, with traditional grazing, you're going to need about 2 acres per cow. Now, those 2 acres have to be a salad bar. They have to be full of grass for that to be able to work. If not, then you're going to have more acres per cow. Now, when it comes to your beef cow, your commitment level is minimum. All you need is good fencing, shade, a water source, and the ability to come out and check on them from time to time to keep up with their health in case you got to deworm them. Oh, and you're also going to have to supplement with some minerals. Okay, fencing. Now, when it comes to fencing, I am a big advocate for hard physical fencing, especially around the perimeter of your homestead. Now, I know a lot of folks use electric fencing. We use electric fencing. But when it comes to dividing my pastures or the perimeter of my pasture, I prefer to have hard fencing, because this is a physical barrier, where electric, at the end of the day, is just a psychological barrier. So when I'm trying to keep cows out of areas, or I don't want them wandering off my property, I have a physical barrier. I like to use barbed wire. I use the 4-prong strand barbed wire. I like to run it 5 strands at about the width or length of my hand, spacing them apart. That way, even if you have a rambunctious longhorn like we went through, it'll at least slow him down a little bit or make him not test it at all anymore. So let's talk water for a second. Now, with your intense grazing, you're obviously going to have water troughs that you're going to bounce with your cows from paddock to paddock. But if you're doing traditional grazing, you can either do water troughs, have a big water trough out somewhere. There are a lot of places do that. If they don't have the ability, or they're not blessed like we are, and we have a creek. Now, one of the benefits with the creek is that the water is constantly flowing. Let me say that again. The water is constantly flowing. So when cows get in water, creeks or ponds, they'll defecate in the water. If the water's stagnant, not moving like it is in most ponds, then it starts to contaminate the water in the pond and makes it to where it's not drinkable for your cows. That's why I'm a huge advocate for not letting cows in ponds. All right, so while you're trying to make the decision of whether or not you're gonna go dairy or beef, I wanna drop a little bee in your bonnet here. That way you can make the best decision possible. Dairy cows come with a higher commitment level, more hands-on than your beef breed. You're gonna need more equipment, more feed, and definitely more time. Because if your dairy cow's in milk and not just dropping a deuce behind you, if she's in milk, you're milking her every 12 hours. So twice a day, every day. All right, so now that we've done the general overview of cows and the different types of cows, let's talk about the pros and cons of keeping a cow. All right, so let's hit those pros. Pros right off the bat. One, obvious, beef. If you choose a beef breed, you get beef. If you choose a dairy breed, you get milk, butter, cheese, cream, just about ice cream, all the dairy products that are out there. Plus, you got a lawn mower. You don't have to invest in spark plugs, gasoline, oil, anything like that. They'll mow your pastures and your grass and stuff for you, and they'll turn around and fertilize it. And that's one of the great benefits of doing the intense grazing, because you're moving them in the paddock and then you're bringing those chickens in 3 days afterwards to spread that manure and eat parasites and do the things that chickens do. And that's bringing more, it's building topsoil, and it's making your pastures healthier. Now, some of your not so common pros that a lot of people don't think about is, one, if you've got a dairy breed, that'll help relieve the stress of your feed bill, because you can supplement your feed with your leftover milk. For example, one of the things that we like to do is to mix our milk with our pig feed, because it's kind of a dusty kind of stuff, but it'll swell up and it puts weight on a pig faster. Then the other thing that you have to think about is you got a little bit of a side hustle here. If you're doing beef, you can sell you can sell the beef. You half cow, whole cow, quarter cow, however you want to do it, or a la carte. You know, same way with your dairy cow. You can do what they call cow shares, and that can bring in extra income for your homestead. All right, so let's flip this coin over and kind of look at the negative. The biggest one is the cost. A cow is going to cost you more than pretty much any other livestock that you get on your homestead. Now, granted, you have some goats out there that can get expensive, and same way with purebred sheep and stuff like that. But if we're talking about a dairy cow in milk, you know, they're going to be more expensive than most any of your other livestock. The second big one is the level of commitment, your time that you're going to have to invest in taking care of this animal on your homestead. If you go the dairy route, that's milking them twice a day, every 12 hours, and pretty much no more vacations, no more weekend getaways, unless you can find somebody that's going to be willing to come milk your cows for you those 2 times a day. Now, here's a negative. Just like we have positives that nobody really thinks about, here's a negative that not that many people think about or even know about. Cows are herd animals. You're going to be more successful and your cow's going to be happier if it's more than one. So when you go to purchase your cows, you're going to be looking to buy at least 2, 3, or as many as you really can afford. That way they don't try to go wandering off and start really testing your perimeter fencing. Now, little asterisk, little star over here. I was talking about, you know, they're a herd animal, buying more than one. That's gonna make you have to jump back and look at your land, how much land you have to be able to support the number of cows that you're thinking of getting. All right, so we threw a lot of information at you today, and I know this seems like it's raising a lot of challenges, a lot of difficulties that you may encounter with going to buy a cow. But really, every animal on your homestead comes with its own level of challenges and difficulties and benefits. Now, in our opinion, the benefits far outweigh the negative or the challenges that it comes to getting a cow. Now, I'll say this. If you're looking for a guideline of when it comes to your property, 5 acres or more, I think it should be a no-brainer. You should have a cow. The benefits for your homestead, within that 5 acres, you can support a couple cows. 5 acres or less, you'd have to look at your budget and financially, because you're going to be doing a lot of supplementing with feed and hay. But at the end of the day, a cow is a great, let's just use the word, tool to help you on your road to sustainability and self-reliance. So if you enjoyed this video and this video helped you start to lean towards the decision of making a cow, I want you to check out this video on raising cattle for beginners. Thanks for coming by the Big Bear Homestead. God bless, and have a nice day.